Hey guys, John V from PhoneArena here. You're watching our video comparison between the Motorola DROID Turbo and the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 recently landed here in the US and it's proven to be quite a hit. It excels in this assortment of areas, from being a productivity tool to something that's used for multimedia consumption. It has a lot going for it. But the DROID Turbo is here. It's Motorola's offering. It's accompanied with a pretty impressive spec sheet, beefy internals, so you have a large 5.2-inch Quad HD display, the latest processor from Qualcomm, and even a beefy sized battery to give the Note 4 a good run for its money. Smaller and chubbier, the DROID Turbo weighs just as much as the larger Note 4, but it feels more ergonomic in the hand. That's just because the Note 4 is one beastly of a tablet, so it requires two-handed operation more than anything. Now the designs are different, of course, so it's a matter of just personal preference. The DROID Turbo has that aggressive look with a sturdier construction, while the Note 4 has that sophistication, that elegance, thanks to its metal trim bezel and that almost leather-like look of its back casing. We will admit, however, that the Note 4 has a lot more geeky things to it. So you have things like that fingerprint sensor, you have an IR blaster that allows it to be a universal remote, heart rate sensor to measure your pulse. You could even remove the back casing here to gain access to its battery, and also its micro SD card slot. And finally, you have all the advantages of its S Pen stylus. The Turbo might sport a record pixel density count, but the Note 4 nails it in every aspect that matters, like color accuracy and its peak brightness output. Now, the DROID Turbo has a smaller 5.2-inch display, so it does offer, sharper details on paper over the larger 5.7-inch display of the Note 4. Quad HD resolutions in tow, so you have some great sharpness and clarity with the two of them. But the Note 4 is really outstanding because it has a higher brightness output, which makes it visible outdoors, and on top of that, its color reproduction is a lot more natural and accurate. They tackle the Android experience in different ways. The DROID Turbo has a mostly stock Android experience, which we like, just because it's a clean, crisp, and to an extent, a very simplified UI. And we do appreciate the accompanying software experiences from Motorola, like Moto Voice and Moto Display, just because it actually strengthens the overall experience. Now, in contrast, the Note 4 is a features-rich experience. You have a lot of stuff, sometimes makes it overwhelming and redundant, but the few that it does offer really adheres to power users, such as the multi-window modes, and of course, all the advantages that come along with the S Pen stylus functions. We obviously know that these two are packing the latest and greatest from Qualcomm's camp. It's a quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 805 chipset, clocked in at 2.7 GHz, and they both carry a whopping 3 GB of RAM. And honestly, as far as the performances go, they pretty much rival one another, though TouchWiz sometimes causes some stutter every now and then with the Note 4, but it's not terrible. While the DROID Turbo is just wicked fast. It's snappy, very quick, and honestly, they're both equipped for handling 3D gaming. They're ideal for things like surfing the web, just because of that Quad HD resolution. They give a lot of detail to find text, but we still find that the Galaxy Note 4 to be a little bit more ideal, just because you have the S Pen, which you could use as another way of interacting with the website by hovering over certain elements. They both have the Google Play Music application, though the Note 4 has an additional one in the form of the TouchWiz one, but for the most part, they're great for this. But the Note 4 speaker is a little bit stronger in output, so it has more presence over the DROID Turbo. And lastly, they both excel in watching videos, just because of their AMOLED displays. You have that iridescent glow to really capture attention, but then again, the Note 4 still has a larger display, which is more ideal for that situation. At the same time, we also appreciate the multitasking element in play with it. You seriously won't be disappointed by the cameras in both handsets. You have a larger 21 megapixel camera in the DROID Turbo versus a slightly smaller 16 megapixel one in the Note 4. You get more manual controls and shooting modes with the Note 4's camera app, so many people will appreciate that. But as we dive in and take a look at their qualities, we do see that the Note 4 has a subtle advantage in pretty much all areas. Outdoors, you get good amount of detail with both, but the Note 4 shots are sharper looking, while the DROID Turbo's details are softer. Indoors under lower lighting, again, the DROID's photos are a little bit more noisy, so you get softer details, so we prefer the brighter and more detailed shots of the Note 4. As for video recording, they both can shoot 1080p videos and also 4K videos at 30 frames per second, but we prefer the Note 4's quality significantly more just because it's sharper and the audio quality is clearer. Pricing greatly differentiates these two handsets. Now, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has that premium cost at $300 with a 2-year contract, versus only the $200 on-contract cost of the DROID Turbo. Now, stick with the Note 4 if you plan doing a lot of work. The price difference is justified just because the Note 4, as we know, has a lot of software features and hardware, features that really add to its value. You have things like the IR blaster, the fingerprint sensor, the heart rate sensor, the micro SD card slot, and of course, all the productivity-centric features of the experience of TouchWiz. Now, as far as the DROID Turbo, it's a great all-around phone. It excels in a lot of things, great spec sheet, and an awesome battery life. So you can't deny the fact that there's a lot going for it as well. It's not quite as comprehensive with its feature set as the Note 4, but it is pretty simple to use. So if you guys want to learn more about either smartphone, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. It's John V. Thanks for watching.